Hi booktube besties! So it's been a minute since I've sat down and filmed a YouTube video, and I think the last thing that I posted was 4 months ago. And I think in that video I was like, I'm gonna try to upload once a week. I've still been posting though on my Book Talk and Booksta account mainly, so I'll make sure to link them in the description below, so give it a follow. In today's video, we'll be doing a May reading wrap-up, yes, no, or maybe style, plus my ratings and yappings if I recommend any of these books. So let's get into it. Fair One's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man, yes. There's found family, delicious food mentioned, and even a good old cozy mystery. And honestly, one of my goals this year is to read more Asian authors, more POC authors, and more queer authors. So I was really happy when I picked this book up on a whim, I think a few months ago, and was just pleasantly surprised by how much I really enjoyed it. And so I hope that we get more of Vera's story, especially with the way that this book ended. So I just love it so much. She's a 4-star read. I definitely recommend this series if you've been thinking about picking it up. Lights out. If you follow me on my Book Talk and Booksta account, you already know how obsessed I am with this book. It's an obvious yes. One of my coworkers recommended this book to me, and she was like, you have to listen to the audiobook. I think you're really gonna like the main character, Josh, and you know what? She was right. This book was just unhinged in the best way possible. It was so silly and so funny and just a good old time. Like, honestly, just don't take it too seriously. I feel like you definitely have to listen to the audiobook because the narrators just really brought the characters to life. And the narrator who did Josh was just so perfect. He just made him so charming and so fun and just like so golden retriever coded too. Like, honestly, I think Josh is one of my favorite MMCs. Like, he's in the top 10 book boyfriend list for sure. For sure. Careless People? Maybe. And I don't have a rating for this one. This is a nonfiction book that follows Sarah's experience working at Facebook. I do feel that the book is important though in that it showcases greed and the audacity of those in power. And there were a couple sketchy things that happened where I was like, that's not okay. So I really did feel for Sarah, especially because she's a mother and she was just like going through all of these things. God of the Woods. Yes. This was my book club pick at work, and at first it took me a second to get into it just because it's multi-POV and there was a lot of POVs. We had a Tracy, we had a Alice, we had a Louise, we had a Carl, a Judita, so many different people that were integral to the story. And we were also in 2 different timelines, I believe, 1961 and 1975, since those were the years that the 2 different cases happened of the missing Van Laar children. But once I was able to identify each character and timeline in my mind, I feel like I was able to fully grasp the story. It took place in the summer season at a summer camp, so it kind of felt like a mood read, even though the plot wasn't super lighthearted. But I really enjoyed it, and it was a 4-star read for me. And lastly, we have Enchanter, which is a yes. I almost gave this 3 stars though, because I was like, are we just gonna play 2 truths and a lie the whole time? But there were a couple quotes in the last 70% where I was like, oof, that ate. I was also on my period while I was finishing this book, so I was just sobbing my eyes out at a few of these quotes, and I'll insert them on the screen here so you guys can see them, and don't worry, no spoilers or anything. And I feel like because I ended up crying, I was like, I gotta give it a 4 stars. Also, I did like this more than Phantasma. I really enjoyed the found family aspect in this book, and that Genevieve found that within the Silvers, and you could tell for the most part, most of the Silvers really did love her and care about her and welcomed her into the family with open arms. And so I thought that was really touching. I love the banter that they had with each other, and even though in the hunt they do have to go after each other, you could just tell how much love that they do have for each other. So I also feel like there was more at stake in this book than in Phantasma. I did feel like I was much more invested. It was a lot more fast-paced, but the ending did feel a little bit rushed, or so like the last trial of the game, kind of like in Phantasma as well, but I'm like, maybe that's just the thing with this series. It just kind of felt like the last game was 2 seconds long, and I wish it was just a little bit longer. I will most likely read the 3rd book though, just because I feel like I am invested now in this series, and I do like the Silvers and Genevieve and Rowan, and I just kind of want to see how everything wraps up. Anyways, that was all the books I finished up in the month of May. I'm currently in the middle of 4 books right now, with one of them being an ACOTAR reread, just because I felt like being back in Valara, so I'm excited to see what I finish up for the month of June. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your favorite May read. But I'll see you later. Bye!